everybody? Welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay, and this is Life.W.Lindsay. Today, we have a WIP Chat. If you don't know what a WIP Chat is, it is when I work on my current work in progress, WIP, and you pull out whatever it is that you're working on, craft project, house project, stream me while you're at work, while you're driving, whatever it is you want to do. There is no right way or wrong way to WIP Chat. You may already hear the tiny human is singing over here. It is just on the baby monitor. For those who are new here, hi, welcome. I'm always a mess, you guys. And if you guys are back again, thank you so much for being here. So if you don't know, I record while my tiny human is sleeping or sleeping. So on days like today, you very much hear her yammering and singing and babbling in the background. So working on a new section here. For anyone who's curious, and it seems like I've done a million WIP Chats on this canvas, I have. I have not even worked on it for a full, week, but I just keep sitting down to work and then starting and stopping, and I like this canvas. I think the canvas itself is beautiful. However, I am just in an insane amount of confetti, and it just feels exhausting. And so I started this canvas for Rox's Travel with Diamonds event, which was the beginning of July. And now we are at the end of July, and I think I have... This is the 13th day, I think, that I've sat down to work on it. Am I totally out of frame? I might be. Excuse me. I have my camera arm as far as it goes to the left of my canvas, so I'm a little bit limited to what I can show unless I push everything further up, which, I mean, I don't know how many, there we go, how many people are actually watching this to watch it versus having it stream in the background. But let me know, are you one of those people who actually watches people while they WIP Chat, or do you just pretty much work and lurk? Let me know. So we had a fun, interesting, eventful week, and I actually jotted down a couple quick notes just so I wouldn't forget, but then I was like, if I'm mentioning this on the wrong days, you guys wouldn't know the difference. So I was like, this happened on Tuesday and it really happened on Wednesday. And also, as far as I know, none of you are the actual internet police, so it's not like anyone's going to actually come after me, right? I kid. If anyone's like, wow, that was rude. Guys, I'm here. I'm just trying to survive like the rest of us, you know what I mean? So, let's see. We were supposed to have, I should say, occupational therapy on Monday. And unfortunately, I'm sitting there. So, first of all, we hadn't had OT since before our summer break. So, genius me, 5 minutes before our session starts, was like, I should probably put the iPad on the charger, right? Yeah, I got to a whole 6%, 7% by the time our session was set to start. And I dialed in, and nothing was happening. And it just kept saying, waiting for your session to begin. And I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like, that's weird. So our teacher calls and leaves a message. I didn't realize that she was calling me from her office and not her home, which means, I guess, that she's not doing home stuff anymore. Super Cliff's Notes version for anyone who is new here. My daughter receives preschool therapy services through the school district, through the intermediate unit. However, we've been doing it virtually for so long, and her occupational therapist, even though we were doing it virtually, she was doing it from her home. She has been approved to go back to home visits and in school visits, but she is technically not the OT for my school district in my part of the county. She actually deals with the city kids, and because of that, we can only continue to see her virtually, or I have to go in person with the original OT we had that criticized us about, literally everything, and our ability to be OTs. And I was like, lady, my husband and I are not trained occupational therapists. Like, we're doing the best we can, trying to implement whatever it is that you are trying to teach us. So, for now, we just stay virtual. So, she was in the office and she sent me an email from her phone and was like, we don't have any internet here. Now, mind you, I get 30 minutes every other week. So she technically gets 60 minutes of occupational therapy in a month, which isn't terrible, but it's not great. And I also hadn't seen her in a while. So eventually, with like 10 minutes left, she's like, you know what? I'll try to do it on my phone. And by then I had already taken my daughter out of her high chair. Said we're not having OT today. You know, her teacher couldn't get on. I wasn't going to make her just sit there and stare at a blank iPad. And my hand really hurts. So if you guys see me like readjusting, that's what's going on right now. And she was like, oh, well, can we do it next week? We'll make up for it. And I was like, we have plans during that time frame. And then she said, well, how about Wednesday from, I think she said like 9:30 to 10. And I said, well, we do speech in person at 10. So like I have to be there before 10. And she's like, oh. And I was like, we'll just see you in 2 weeks for, you know, our next regular session. And she's like, no, you won't. And I was like, what do you mean I won't? Oh, we go on break again. And I was like, wait, what? I was so confused. I was under the impression that these kids got less break time because you didn't want to leave children that age going that long without services. Well, what I didn't realize is they have the same amount of school days as the academic calendar for the K-12 program, but they split it up differently so that the kids are going like 3 weeks off, 2 weeks on, and then 3 weeks off again. And I'm like, if I had known that, I could have planned a little bit better for, you know, some of the summer things that we're trying to do. And, I mean, now I know, and I got an actual school calendar that I've been asking for forever. So, quick water break. I actually have Crystal Light Pink Lemonade in there today. And, ooh, is it tart. I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those people that when I get lemonade, like, I want it to be, like, half lemonade, half water. I love lemon and lemon-flavored things. But, man, I really just wanted something that was not, like, super, super sweet and super, super tart. And I forgot how Crystal Light was both of those things. So, anyway, we ended up just not having OT at all on Monday. And I was like, well, I guess we'll just see you after the break then, because there's not much more I can do. I couldn't fit her into our schedule. And so then on Tuesday, we went ice skating, which was back to our regularly scheduled skating sessions. We actually went skating twice this week, but I'll touch base on that. So Tuesday we went skating, and then we went to go pick up. We had done some pottery at Color Me Mine, and we had gone to pick up our pottery. This is like later in the day, and I didn't realize it. They were closed. Is that right? Yeah, I think that was the right day. I love that. Again, I'm asking you guys as if you were there with me. And I didn't realize that they were closed. But anyway, so Tuesday started out really nice. We had ice skating. And then we were planning on picking up lunch from Hula Hands. Now, I don't know if you guys have a Hula Hands near you. They are a chain restaurant, but they're not everywhere. And I had one like where I grew up, which I did not grow up anywhere near where we live. I grew up like in the same state. I grew up like 100 miles away. So anyway, they have an online platform where you can place your order. The problem is they don't have an online platform where you can pay, which I find very, very odd. Very odd. Like, again, this is a chain restaurant. This is not like a little mom and pop shop. And so we placed the order, and my husband's like, I don't know what is going on, but it just keeps spinning and telling me that it is trying to process our order. And he's like, do I close out of this? And I was like, I'd keep that up, because there was like a weird timer going on and we had never had that before. And basically at the end of, I think it was like 2.5 minutes, it was like, I'm sorry, our bar staff is too busy to take your order. And I was like, oh, well, that's weird. So then we were like, well, okay, we don't have a lot of time to, place an order somewhere else, because we were out and about, to place an order somewhere else and then pick it up. Like, we were starting to get to the point where I was like, okay, we got to figure this out. We got to figure it out now. So we're like, well, why don't we go over? There is a playground, a little mini playground in the outlets near us. And we had gone to pick up a cup of coffee, which is right next to the outlet. So we were like, well, let's just do that. We could take her over there, and we're not going to tell her we're doing that because, oh, I remember the big thing with Tuesday. Okay. So we were, you guys, thank you, Briar. This WIP Chat is all over the place. So if you guys are looking for like super organized thoughts and, overly produced and edited, this is not the video for you. Anyway, so we had tried to take her over to Chocolate World, which is a free part of Hershey Park. It has its own parking lot, its own entrance. You can go there year round. But we hadn't been there in a really long time due to COVID. So we actually tried to go there first after ice skating. We thought it would be like a nice little treat for her. But it turned out that it was insanely busy. Now, I've talked to a couple people. I've lived here for quite some time, and I have never, ever seen it like that, ever. And I had talked to a few people that were saying that they're not giving out tickets for the parking lot. You can park there for free, but it's only a 3-hour lot. And they were saying that a lot of people are actually parking there for the park. I don't know how true that is versus it just being busy, but I was like, if it's that busy in the parking lot, it's going to be that busy inside. So that's when we decided to order lunch, and then that didn't work out. So we're like, we'll take her to the playground that's right here while we figure things out. So they're tearing up the entire playground. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, this turned out, like, it started out a great day because she had skating and she loved skating. She did really well. And then lunchtime rolls around and everything is going wrong. So anyway, we decided to not try to place our order again with hula hands because of everything that was going on. It didn't seem worth it to try again and to sit there in the car with a hungry and now super annoyed toddler because she, in her mind, was going to go to Chocolate World and going to go on the ride and going to do all these fun things that we hadn't taken her to do in a really long time. And then it didn't happen. So cue the waterworks. She was mad. She was upset, understandably so. But Briar has a really hard time like transitioning from one thing to another. So this just kind of like compounded onto it and made it like 1,000 times worse. So I was like, you know what? Why don't we go pick up bagels? There's a place across town that's near where his mom lives. It was a hot day, but it wasn't super hot. It wasn't like uncomfortable hot. So I was like, why don't we just place an order? We'll call your mom and then we can meet her. She has picnic benches at her apartment and we can have lunch. And my husband was like, okay, that sounds great. Let's see if we can do that. So I placed the order online and I got my confirmation email and, they tell you it'll be ready in 25 minutes or whatever it is. So we went, and as we were heading back, do I want to do these? Yeah, we're going to do these. Bear with me here, you guys. I've said this before. I'm working on my canvas upside down, so I'm going to turn my drill container upside down and leave it on my desk here so that I can see it the way it appears on the canvas. And that is just a piece of release paper. Anyway, so place the order. We stopped to grab some chips on the way. They have chips available on their website, but you never get the ones you pick. So to just make it easier, my husband grabbed like a water bottle and, some essentials for a picnic, if you will. So we get to the restaurant, I call, and they go, oh, our system's been down, and it just came back up. And I said, okay, so are you going to make that order then? And they were like, well, no, you'd have to order it again, and you have to pay for it again. I said, I'm sorry, what? And they said, well, our system was down. And I go, I heard you, but I also, oh my God, don't put that there, Lindsay. Diamond Art Club, putting 2 arrows, similar color, right next to each other. And I have said this before in many of my videos, like, I understand that the hospitality industry has been hit incredibly hard, but, like, this lady's talking to me as if I'm stupid, and I said, I have a confirmation email here saying that my credit card was charged. Well, that doesn't count because our system was down. And I said, okay, well, are you going to remake the sandwiches or not? Like, we just drove, a half hour into town to pick up this meal. And again, it was nothing special. It was just sandwiches, bagel sandwiches. They're really, really good. But it was just, we picked somewhere that was really close to his mom. Like, there's other restaurants down the street from her apartment that we could have gotten lunch from, instead, but we got that because we thought it would be easy. Sandwiches, picnics, anyway. So the lady on the phone gets who I assume is her boss. And I was like, okay, well, are you guys going to remake the sandwiches or not? Like, I just need to know, because if not, I have to go somewhere else. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, how long will that take? Because again, we've already been sitting in the car for an extensive period of time because the first place we tried to go to didn't work out. The second thing we tried to do for lunch didn't work out. So we've just been sitting in the car, and I can tell my toddler is, like, not having any of it. So she's like, we can have that ready in about 10 minutes. So about 25 minutes later, it's finally ready. Nobody said anything to me at that point, again, about needing to pay for it again. And I could tell they were annoyed, but, if you knew that your system was down and you saw that my order was there and you have to put your phone number in, you should have, at that point, let the customers know, like, hey, our system was down. It's going to be an additional 20 minutes or whatever it may be. Because a lot of people come here on their lunch break because they can place their order ahead and then just pick it up and have a bagel sandwich. So we got that. We ended up going to my mother-in-law's, which was really nice. She got Briar a wooden dinosaur to, like, paint or color, whatever you want to do to it. But of course, she sees this art project and she's like, well, I want to do it now. And I'm like, Briar, we don't have any paint. We're at Grandma's house. Like, we don't have anything to do the art project. And then, of course, she got upset. But she was really excited. For some reason, she has it in her mind that a rhinoceros is actually a rhinoceros. And we'll tell you that's her favorite dinosaur at the moment, which I think is super cute. She's 3. I can't correct, well, I mean, I can correct her, but, like, I can't get mad at her for, it makes sense why she thinks that, So, that was fun, and we were really surprised. The weather held out. We were thinking after all the crap that we had been through with Chocolate World and the 2 different places for lunch that, like, it was just gonna thunderstorm or just be, not on our side. And it ended up being a really lovely afternoon. So that was really, really nice. And we hadn't seen my mother-in-law in a while. It's been crazy hot here, like hot and humid. And we always meet my mother-in-law for lunch at the park, usually with the playground, because she lives in a senior building and I'm not comfortable with everything going on with COVID to, bring my daughter into the building. So that's just what we do. And it works for us, but it hasn't been on our side recently because the weather has just been unbearable. And even if you eat in a pavilion, it's still like Briar wants to go run around. She wants to be on the basketball courts and she wants to go over to this walking trail and do this and do that. And, I'm going to guess that today is going to be a no-nap day because she is just super babbly. I mean, this kid always babbles, but we've been trying to have nap time for a little while now. So that was our Tuesday. So then Wednesday, we have speech. And again, our speech is in person. And we were talking to our speech teacher. We've been in person in her office now for a little bit. Not too long, but a decent amount of sessions now. And she informed me that once the school year starts, this time won't be available anymore. Which sucks because, you know, when you make doctor's appointments and you know you have regular therapies and things like that, you plan them off of the schedule you already have, not off of like, oh, what will it look like in a few months? So I was a little bit disappointed to hear that like the time frame that's been working for us since November of 2020 isn't going to work anymore. But I'm not going to let that, you know, ruin things for us. So this little section right here has so much more in terms of color blocking than this part next to it. You guys, that was exhausting. Look, I love a combination of color blocking and confetti, but let me tell you, when it is just, and everything's the same color palette, a lot of the symbols are similar, I'm definitely burning out on this canvas. And I don't want to do that because this canvas is absolutely gorgeous and I can't wait to see it done. But I'm also, like, I have been dreading coming up and working on this, which is why in the span of almost 4 weeks, I've gotten less than 2 weeks of work done. But anyway, so Wednesday, after speech was over, we decided to go and do some fun stuff. So we went back to the Color Me Mine and I picked up our stuff. And I don't know if I took any photos. If I did, I'll insert them here. But if not, Briar did a flamingo, or a Mingo flamingo, as she calls it. And then my husband did a geometric bear, and I did a coffee mug that had tentacles, octopus tentacles. And I did mine in like the color palette of Ursula, because Ursula is the best Disney villain. Let me know what your favorite Disney villain is down below. She's amazing. If my daughter was ever into The Little Mermaid, which she is not, and she wanted to go for Halloween, and she was like, Mommy, you can be Ursula, I'd be like, yup. It'd be a little cold for me going around in a bustier, but I'd make it work, because Halloween is the best, and The Little Mermaid is the best, and Ursula is the best, also the worst, you know? Anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked too much. Even though everything I do is just one big, hey, I got sidetracked. Anyone else live their life like that? It's not intentional, but that's just how it is. And if you're wondering, I am switching off between two pens, if anyone's watching. This one is from Kevin's Kreations, and I will leave that listed down below. And then the other one, the blue one, is a Lazy River pen. And yeah, so I picked up the stuff on Tuesday, and on Wednesday. And then across the street is a Target. So we went to Target. We had to get a couple things. Nothing, you know, too major. Just a couple things. And it's nice because I don't know about you guys, but we have a Walmart really close to us, like 5 minutes away. But Target just is so much nicer and has so much cooler stuff. And also the people that hang out at the Target are, in general, far less weird than the people that you find at Walmart. Don't get me wrong, I love me a good like 98-cent deal from Walmart, but sometimes you want to hang out at the dollar spot at Target, you know what I mean? And if you don't know what I mean, I apologize, because Target is amazing. And it used to be a regular for me, but now it's like a special thing because, you know, pandemic. So we took her to Target, and she picked out a Rubble from Paw Patrol toy. Whoop, sorry, just hit the camera. And so now she has a Rubble. No. Yeah? She has a Rubble, a Chase, and a Sky. So for anyone who doesn't know what the Paw Patrol is, it's a kids' TV show about all these dogs that basically run this town. Listen, if you guys have kids or nieces, nephews that have or that currently watch Paw Patrol, like real talk here. Where's that kid's parents? This is the kid. I don't know how old he is. Let's say 10 years old. I'm sure that the show says it. We've seen literally 2 episodes of it. But my daughter has a bunch of like coloring books that has Paw Patrol stuff in it. And those dollar spot activity books at Target, she's got a couple of them that have Paw Patrol. And it makes sense that she likes it. She really likes animals. She really likes vehicles. So, you know. So you've got a fire dog, a police dog, the trash truck dog, the sky pilot dog, the boat dog, and the construction dog. And so, like, if there's ever, like, a construction emergency, they don't call a construction company. They call the Paw Patrol, and the dogs fix it. So, again, where are this kid's parents? Also, why does a small child own 6 dogs? And then there's 2 mayors, which I recently Googled and learned. They're 2 different towns. But you have the good mayor and the bad mayor. And the good mayor is written as this woman who just lives in constant hysterics. And I was like, really? Like, can't we make her like a strong woman because, you know, she's the mayor? Nope, they have to make her a woman who's always in hysterics and in constant need. But anyway, I totally digress. I could probably do an entire video about my thoughts on Paw Patrol. I would say if you want to see that, let me know down below, but I'm sure the majority of people don't actually want to see that. So if you're up for a discussion, let me know. So anyway, she got her toy, and then we went and got hibachi, which we haven't done hibachi with Briar since she was I'm going to guess like 8 months. I know she was old enough to be eating solid foods, and she was still little enough that she had no hair. And I have this video of her as soon as they light the hibachi table. I don't know if it was for the volcano or whatever it was, but the flames go up and her eyes just got like saucers. So I was like, why don't we do that? We could take her there. It would be something fun, something exciting, something different. Because she's on this real big kick of like every day going, what are we going to do today? And doesn't want to listen that some days we just don't do anything. You know, pandemic or not. Like not every day of the week is going to be full of fun and exciting activities, you know? Don't tell her that though. So we got hibachi and she wanted salmon. And I was like, really? Not that my kid doesn't eat salmon. I was just surprised that of all of the meat options, that's what she chose. You guys, the kids' meal was like $2 less than the adults' meal, I think. She got a piece of salmon that was like this big. It was humongous. It took up the majority of the plate. The only difference between the kids and the adult that I noticed was that the kids' one didn't come with the lo mein noodles. It only came with the fried rice. So she's sitting there chowing down on fried rice, eating my fried rice, eating my husband's fried rice, eating like her weight in fried rice. And then she's like, Daddy, I have noodles. And so we gave her some of our noodles and she ate those too. And then she ate a bunch of the fish and a bunch of the vegetables. And I was like, damn, well, if I had known this was the meal that my kid was going to sit and eat, which means next time we go, she won't touch it. But, she had such a good time. And she was really well behaved. They did a really good job of, if you've ever been anywhere that has hibachi, you're sitting usually like horseshoe shape. I'm going to turn her down. She's really loud. And then on the open side of the horseshoe is where the chef comes in to cook on the table, the flat top in front of you. So they put us on one far end, and then the next family that came, they put them on the opposite end. So there was nobody sitting next to us. So we were able to safely socially distance and this was, I think, our second time eating indoors, and the first time was kind of out of necessity, but it was lovely. Briar did really well. She was really excited about it. Those are the kind of situations that make me go, yeah, maybe we can start taking her out to eat a little bit more often. I mean, not a whole lot because she's still kind of a butthole, but it was nice. It was really nice. It was nice to have that feeling of like things might be getting back to normal at some point ever. It won't be right now because, you know, there are so many people out there who are still refusing to wear masks, or I'm not even going to get into this right now, but my husband actually, so we still wear our mask. We are fully vaccinated, and this is not an up for debate kind of thing. And like, I know somebody was like, if you got your vaccine, then you're a sheep. And I'm like, I have a child who has some health issues that I'm going to do everything I can to prevent exacerbating that. But that's cool. And my husband and I still wear our masks when we're with her for anything, because how can I enforce that my child wear one if we're not setting that example? Now, I'm not telling everybody that they have to follow a heed, but that's what works in our house. That's what works for our family. So we continue to do that. But also, like, if I have to run in and pick up like a to-go order or anything like that, I am also still wearing a mask because I just don't trust the people around me. So my husband said somebody tried giving him shit in the supermarket because he was wearing a mask, and he basically told the person he's been fully vaccinated since April, but thank you so much for your concern, and he walked away. And he said like he could tell they were really pissed. And then he had a guy today that was like trying to get in front of him in the line. And my husband's like, excuse me, sir, I am clearly in line. The guy's like, yo, you're really far behind the person in front of you. And he goes, I'm standing on the dot. You know, the dot that says next customer here. People just, at least around here, are acting like nothing ever happened. And that's, I guess, how they think. I don't know. It just kind of blows my mind how people react out in public. But anyway, so we did that. And then my husband had said to her, did you want to get ice cream or we can come back tonight? Well, of course. She's 3. She wanted to get ice cream. So ice cream was in the shopping center across the street. No big deal. We're going to hop over there. And she's like, yay, ice cream. Now, mind you, I had gotten a call earlier in the day. For anyone who has been around for a little bit, you know that my daughter had an endoscopy, and I put up a video. My last WIP Chat, I believe, was the procedure, how everything went, the results. Well, they called us back this week to inform me that my daughter is actually lactose intolerant. And I'm like, oh, okay. Of course, here we are going to get ice cream. So we have started her on some Lactaid milk per their request. And it sucks, but it's not a milk allergy. It's just a lactase deficiency. And lactase is the stuff that breaks down the lactose. So if you are lactose intolerant, that means that your body can't tolerate lactose. Her body can't break it down. So they told us, like, continue with like cheese and yogurt. You know, if you're going to do something that you know is going to have a lot of dairy, just take one of those Lactaid chewables beforehand. I'm like, all right. So we started that. And then they also wanted us to wean her off of her one medication and double up on the other. So we are a couple days into that. And so far it seems to be going okay. The last time we tried to wean her off the omeprazole, it was like almost immediate that she was on the floor crying, like maybe day 2, on the floor crying in pain. And so I'm praying that that doesn't happen again. My child has been on reflux medication of some capacity since she was like 3 months old. So yeah, long time. So we ended up going to get ice cream. My husband was so full, and so I shared one with her. And that was just a really great day. And she'll even tell you, like, I had a great day today, mommy. And, you know, when you have days like that, it makes you forget about the days that you have where, like, they don't want to do anything that's being asked of them or follow any sort of instructions. Like, the new thing right now is the toddler defiance of I don't want to. And it's of things that, like, you don't have a choice, Briar. You just, like, today, for example, she was playing in a cooler bag that we had from when we went to the beach for that one day. And there were a bunch of cocktail napkins in there. And I said, Briar, please don't pull the cocktail napkins out. And she's like, but I want to. And I'm like, okay, Briar, well, whatever ones you're not touching and playing with, you have to put back. I don't want to. Cool, kid. I didn't want you to take them out in the first place. So right before bed, she opened up a closet and didn't realize there was toys in there and then freaked out because she wanted those toys. And I said, Briar, you're not going to get those toys. There's a reason they're put away. The main reason is we don't have room for them. But the other reason is because she can't take care of the ones she already has. And I said, Briar, when mommy and daddy tell you this is how you earn it, this is how you earn it. And the main thing that we tell her how to earn new toys or pre-existing toys is to just do what's asked of her. Like, pick up the napkins. No, I don't want to. So that was fun. She ended up picking them up because I told her I was going to take something else instead then. And she didn't appreciate it. What a surprise. Toddler with an attitude. You guys, toddlers are exhausting. And I know that they say, like, strong-willed kids make amazing adults, but, like, the fact that I have to survive her first, there's days, like, no lie, that I question if I will. Like, can I physically survive her? She is exhausting. So anyway, that was our Wednesday, which was super, super nice. Take another little water break. And then Thursday, we went back up to ice skating. So we are in a new session now, and you can tell because there's a bunch of people that I've never seen before, or kids that switch from a different session to a different session. So if I am correct, there is a Monday evening, Tuesday morning, Thursday afternoon, and then Saturday. I don't know what time the one on Saturday is. But it's supposed to help, like, kids of all different ages and skating abilities and schedules. Because obviously, when school is in session, you're not going to have a whole lot of kids that are going to be able to do the daytime sessions as much. Those are really more for your half-day kindergarten or your preschoolers, or your homeschool or virtual school kids. But there's this one guy in our class now. So, all right. This little girl came to a session. I think I talked about this in one of my videos. She came to a session and you could tell that he was totally embarrassed because his daughter was out on the ice and she was crying. And you could see this is a girl who was just scared. And my husband and I very kindly let him know, like, this is very common. Our kiddo spent the first couple weeks, like, crying on the ice, just having a hard time. And he's like, I don't even know why she's crying because she goes to public skate with us all the time, and I just hold her hand. And I'm thinking, well, now she's being told, you can't hold the wall, you can't hold anyone's hand, so I can understand why this is difficult for her. Like, I didn't say that to him. So when we came back from Briar's procedure, we didn't see them in class. So I thought, oh, maybe that was it. It was a one and done, and he decided not to bring her back. Well, there he was on that session, and his daughter is 2 years older than my daughter. And I learned very quickly, this is the kind of guy, and I hate people like this, I should preface that, who constantly has to one-up you. So he's sitting there totally bragging, oh my God, this is only the third time my daughter's gone ice skating, and look how much better she is, implying better than our daughter. And I'm like, weird flex on a 3-year-old, but okay. And the fact of the matter is, well, this may have been this little girl's third lesson, and don't get me wrong, she was doing a really great job. This was not the third time his daughter had been on the ice, because he had told us previously that they go to open skate all the time. So, like, everything we would say, like, my husband and I would have conversations and he would interject, or, like, I would talk to one or the other. There's a couple moms there with us that time. And I play hockey. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, she wants to play hockey. She has no interest in figure skating. And I'm like, it's not a competition, dude. I think, honestly, my daughter is the only one that's in the class currently that has not expressed interest in ice hockey. But the way it works is these kids have to, I believe it's 2 levels of learn to skate before they can sign up for the hockey classes. But he was just, everything that we were saying or somebody else was saying, he had to interject and make it seem like his life was more fascinating, or, you know, he was better at X, Y, and Z. And it's like this is literally not a competition. Like, we're sitting in the stands watching our children skate. That's it. There's nothing that's going on here, you know? So he's sitting there and he tells us that, you know, he's going back to work. And I'm like, okay. And I think he said his mother is going to be bringing his daughter, but she refuses to bring her to the morning session. So she's only going to be able to be there for the Thursday session. She's like, she's going to be so sad that she doesn't get to see Briar every week. And I was like, yeah, well, that's the session we come. Now, we have done Thursday as like a makeup session, but Tuesdays are our session because the Thursday session falls right during my child's nap time. So by the time we get back into town after a Thursday session, there's no point in even trying to put her down for a nap because we're just going to have to get her up very shortly. So, you know, I can understand, like, the little kids are going to be bummed because they get along, but he strikes me as the kind of guy who doesn't have a lot of social activities for his kids, which is fine. Every parent is entitled to do what they want, but there were definitely kids that were much more age appropriate for his daughter to be playing with and hanging out with. And she just kept coming back to my daughter, who was the only one in the class that was like a little kid. The other kids in the class were all about the same age as her. And, you know, he's like, well, are you guys going to get out there on the ice with her? Which, by the way, the parents are not encouraged to get out on the ice. You can buy a walk-on, but that's really more for if you have, like, older siblings that are coming to the lesson and they just want to, like, be out on the ice. And I was like, no, you know, this body falls. It's going to fall hard. And, you know, he's like, well, it'll hurt if I fall too. Again, not a competition, bro. Like, okay, you also said that you play hockey and that you skate regularly. I haven't been on a pair of skates in 20 years. Well, you should. Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me know what I should be doing and shouldn't be doing. Also, should we point out the fact that you brought your baby daughter to an ice rink in a romper with no socks and shoes? Should I point that out to you? Or was that obvious enough when everybody was staring at I'm guessing the kid was around 1, was in an ice rink, inappropriately dressed. But no, I didn't point that out. What I did point out, and yes, it was a very big asshole move of me, but it is what it is. So after he's sitting there, like, making all these comments about his daughter and all the skating stuff, and just, like, I had finally, you could tell I had had enough. His daughter was falling a lot, and not because she isn't a good skater, but because she's, like, trying to go, which I think is pretty typical when kids finally get the hang of things on the ice. And so she kept falling. And I just looked at him because he was, you know, again, trying to make everything about him. And I go, does your daughter have waterproof pants? And he just looked at me, and I could tell he did not appreciate me saying that. And I didn't say it in a malicious way, but you're watching as your daughter has spent at least 2 of the last 3 sessions falling a lot, and she's wearing denim. Now, if you guys don't know this, you shouldn't wear denim pants to do any snow or winter related sport. Not that there's really going to be any concern in an ice rink, but like if you're going skiing, for example, don't layer up with jeans underneath your snow pants, because metal zippers and condensation, they can freeze. But also when you're doing something like ice skating, they're going to absorb the wetness when your child is sitting on the ice. And that is why my daughter is in snow pants. Not insinuating that his daughter should be in snow pants, but a lot of like kids' leggings are made out of more like water wicking material. And he just looked at me and he was like, no, she gets changed right after this. And I was like, oh, okay. But like, dude, stop coming at me during our kids' ice skating lesson. And I think he thinks that he was having like friendly conversation, but he was making me so annoyed and uncomfortable at one point, because I was like, dude, like, we're literally talking about a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. Like, it's not a competition. It really is not a competition. This is a learn to skate program. It's not a basics of competitive skating, which I'm sure exists because they do have teachers that train kids to compete. But it was just like, you know, that's great that your kid wants to play hockey. Here's a perfect example. But it doesn't mean my daughter is any less than because she wants to figure skate. Also, like, why are you criticizing a 3-year-old for, like, what they want to do? Just, that really annoyed me. And then my girlfriend from college came over, who I hadn't seen. Now, I went back to school to get my degree in my 30s. And she was significantly younger than me then, obviously still significantly younger than me. But she came over. I hadn't seen her since she graduated with her bachelor's 2 years ago now, with everything going on with COVID. I didn't see her at all last year. So she came over. She had told me, like, oh, didn't I tell you I was moving? And I was like, what? Where are you going? And she is moving away. And so I was like, well, I'd love to see her before she goes. And I know she loves hanging out with Briar. And she hadn't seen Briar since Briar was like, 1.5. So she's very different now. She's much more communicative. She's much more on the go. Has a lot more hair, like things like that. And it was really, really nice to have her over and to see how she's doing. And, I remember when she was graduating, I was like, what would your dream job be? And she's like, to work in HR. And I was like, nobody dreams of that, like jokingly. And, so she seems to be doing really good. And it was really nice to see her. Like, you ever have that one friend or a bunch of friends that you just haven't seen in a long time for whatever reason, but no matter what, you pick back up as if you just saw them yesterday? That's how it was. And then her boyfriend came over. I hadn't had a chance to meet him yet, and he accidentally drove off with her keys, and I had to come back, and it was so sweet. He rang the doorbell, and Briar's like, who's that? And I told her, and she said, well, can't he come in? And I said, well, no, baby girl, he has to get back to doing what he was doing. He was conducting some interviews, and she was like, can't he join us? I was like, that was so sweet. So that was really, really nice. I really enjoyed that. I know that she's not moving like crazy far away. She's moving far enough away that it's not like a, hey, can I come over for a couple hours kind of thing. But I hope that we still get to see her, here and there, because I know Briar loves her and adores her. And she has the same name as her speech teacher, so I was like, I hope she doesn't get confused, because it's been a long time. But when you're a kid, to know that there are more than 2 people with the same name, it like blows their mind. I was trying to hear what she was talking about. Earlier, for some reason, she was talking about black underwear, and I was like, is she talking about my underwear? Which, can I tell you, I know I was having one hell of a day yesterday when I realized, like, 12 hours into the day that my underwear was on inside out. I was like, well, there we go. Seems pretty accurate for the way things have been going. So, Friday, it was a decent weather day, so my husband took her for a walk, and then she really wanted to play outside, and she wanted to play with chalk, and I said, okay, well, we'll play with chalk for a little bit. And so we did. And then she goes, what are we going to do today? And I'm like, are you kidding? Like, you and Daddy just went for a walk for like half hour, maybe longer. My husband, when it's not gross out, likes to take her for walks. We have a nice neighborhood across the street that we can walk in, and our neighborhood, and then there's a neighborhood directly next to us that has a dog park. I mean, there's almost never anyone in there, but sometimes they'll go that way. And I took that as an opportunity to take a shower without having to feel rushed. And, like sometimes I go with them, but she loves going for walks. And I can usually hear when they're approaching, because I can hear him outside telling her to, hold his hand or whatever it is that she's not doing that she should be doing. But I was like, are you kidding, girlfriend? You went out for a walk with Daddy for the first time. It had been a long time because the weather has been incredibly hot and humid here. Or rainy. Like, we've had both. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, you just had all this time with Daddy, and now you're like, what are we going to do today? After we had played outside, you went for a walk. And I'm like, oh my God. And so then she informed me, she goes, next week, we go to Target, we get Rocky. Back to Paw Patrol. Rocky is the one who drives the recycling truck, which our kid is one of those kids who loves the trash truck, which she got to see on Friday. They had a different driver, and I think it kind of threw her off because it was a woman, and it's always the same guy that drives. And so she was a little bit confused, but she was like, oh, hi. And every single one of them, they waved to her, they, honked the horn, and I don't know what it is about garbage trucks or recycling trucks, but little kids love them. So anyway, she's telling me that next week we'll go to Target and we'll get Rocky, and I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, that is not how this works. Now, if you guys are ever hanging out with me, like in real life, it throws people off all the time, but I call my daughter ma'am, and I'll be like, ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. We did that when we were at Target, and this woman turned around and thought I was talking to her, and like you could see like the head snap and the attitude was coming and it was being directed at me, and then she realized that I was talking to Briar, and it made her giggle. Well, it made Briar giggle, but I could see that woman was not super thrilled about it until she realized, I ain't talking to you, girlfriend. But anyway, so I was like, Briar, that is not how this works. You don't just tell mommy and daddy that you're getting something. You have to earn it. So, guys, I got the award for the worst mom ever. I said, here's how you can earn your toy. Pick up your shoes. She's supposed to put her shoes away every single time she comes back inside. Because she has a tendency, drives me nuts. She takes their shoes off, puts like one over here and like one in a different room, and then I can never find the matching pair. And then, as most 3-year-olds, does like the Mr. Magoo looking, where she's just looking over things and goes, I can't find it. I don't see it. Well, Briar, you're not looking for it. Can you please look for it? So she huffed and puffed, and I was like, fine, Briar. Like, this is how you're going to earn your toys. From here on out, we will put together some sort of basically like a chore chart, okay? Like, not an allowance, but I just want her to understand the value of $1. Or like when she tells us she wants so-and-so to eat and we order it from a restaurant and then she's like, I don't want that. Well, you asked for that. So anyway, I am the worst mom ever because I made my kid put her own shoes back where they belong, which is literally in the room right next to it. And to pick up all of her soft toys, which are stuffed animals, and put them in the basket that was 3 feet to the right of it. Oh my goodness, you would have thought I was torturing this child. And I'm like, kid, you can't expect that just because you want something, you get it. And because we haven't really been taking her out of the house, which I'm totally content with because, we're trying to keep her safe and things like that. She's starting to equate that when we go out that she gets something, because if we're going to a Target or a Walmart, we usually pick her up something little. But we're only taking her to places like that right now. Like, we're not just taking her, like, willy-nilly to, like, anywhere. So, if you guys have any ideas of, like, good ways to implement a program, I don't want to call it an allowance program, because I really just want her, it doesn't even need to be monetary. I just need something that she understands that, like, you know, you earn a star for doing this, and then when you get 6 stars, you get $1. And then let's use our dollar. Do we want to save our dollar or spend our dollar? I saw something great on Instagram the one day, and I thought I saved it and I didn't. And it was basically, like, exactly what I'm trying to explain, but done in a way that kids understand that if you, let's say they have, you know, enough stars to redeem for $5, and you spend your $5, then tomorrow you're back at 0. But if you save those $5, then maybe you could have 2 more tomorrow, and then you can have $7 so you can buy something bigger. I just want her to understand, and she's still little, but I want her to understand that, like, just because you want something doesn't mean you're going to get it. And also, like, I'd love for my kid not to be a total spoiled little shit, which I know a lot of that has to do with the parenting. I mean, I guess all of it does, unless you have, like, a grandparent who is, like, excessively spoiling the child. But, you know, we always get the little activity books from the dollar spot, because those are perfect to just live in the diaper bag. They go with us to restaurants. They go with us when we visit the grandparents. They're just easy things. But I think because they're so exciting to her that she is like, well, I know I'm going to at least get that toy. And it's like, well, you're not even getting that. That goes in mommy's diaper bag. And mommy pulls it out when I think it's time. You know, like, those are not in-home activities. Let's just say that. So anyway, we did that. And then later that day, I got a text from the preschool program telling us that my daughter has been waitlisted, which sucks, and I'm bummed, but I know it's not the end of the road. I know there's a possibility that the waitlist could completely be gone through by the time the school year starts. Also, they told us, like, they've had years where by January they've gone through the entire list. So I'm trying to stay hopeful, but I also know that at this point, if she does get in, 100% it's going to be last minute, where they basically call us and say, hey, we have a spot for your daughter to start on Monday. So there is no, like, cute back to school shopping. And I mean, not that it's back to school when it's your first time at school, but my kid right now, for example, doesn't have a need for a backpack, especially like a good backpack, because she doesn't go to school. She has her preschool therapy, and I don't know what she's ready for, but she just said, I'm ready for you. So, like, you know, you want to make sure when she starts school, whether it's with the rest of the kids in this program, or if she gets, you know, in because somebody else has dropped out, like, I want her to have a backpack, but I also need to be able to find the backpack. And, like, I've thought about it, like, what if I get her a backpack now and we can just hang on to it? But I know that if I tell her we're getting you a backpack for school, then she's going to be like, oh, we're going to school, and then get upset when we're not going to school. So, you know, being a parent is tough. But my mom said to me yesterday we did our family Zoom. And she's like, you know, you should work on potty training with her before she goes to school. And I'm like, thank you, Mom. As if for the last 3.5 years, we haven't tried this at all. Like, this is a new novel idea. And I know my mom didn't mean it in that way, but it was like, damn, dude, like, what do you think? We're just sitting around being like, you think we should do it? Nah, let's wait. For anyone who does not know, my daughter is not yet potty trained, and that's because she does not recognize the need for having to go or having gone. Like, she doesn't even recognize when she's sitting in her own wet diaper. So, she does have some sensory issues, and that has definitely hindered our ability to progress with that. So, thanks, Mom. I appreciate that. But I think that's probably a good place to wrap this up. This has been an interesting hour. It has been all over the place, but I got a decent amount done. If you were to look at this and not know what canvas I'm working on, which if I didn't say it, it's the Milky Way Galaxy, it looks like a whole lot of nothingness right now. So I have this, and then there's a section, a whole strip across underneath here. So I'm hoping that I can finish this by the end of the month, but you never know. If it's going the way it's been going, this is going to take forever to finish. But that's all I got for you guys for this one. If you enjoyed this video and like to see more content like this, or, you know, nothing at all like this, make sure to give this video 2 thumbs up. One real life, one virtual. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Come, join the Sparkle Squad. And while you're there, make sure you hit that notification bell. I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time. I record while she is sleeping, or like today, sleeping. Thank you guys so much for being here. From the bottom of my heart, I cannot thank you guys enough. I actually hit 900 subscribers over the weekend, and I am absolutely elated at the fact that I am now just double digits away from finally hitting 1,000 subscribers. So if you have any friends or family members that you think would be interested in my content, please make sure you share this video and send them my way. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys!